why do I do what I do? So it's a really tough question. And I thought about this a little bit before I went live, and I'm sure I'm going to have a more organized way of telling the story in the future. I know I'm working on that with Andrew, but I guess one of the things is that, so I've been a chiropractor practicing now for about 15 years, and I see people from all ages, and it's I guess sad in a way that I see people that I saw initially, so 15 years ago now. So say they were like 60 years old, now they're 75, and maybe I saw them right at the beginning, or in this case, I saw them right in the beginning, and then I'm only seeing them now recently, 15 years later. And to see them age in that period of time, it's frightening a little bit. It's scary. I mean, aging is scary stuff. And I see the ones, especially, not everyone ages poorly, but you see the people like smoke. You see the people that don't love life. I mean, I think that's the number one factor, is if you don't love life, you don't have a purpose. I don't care what you say. I think that's more detrimental to your health and well-being and your aging than anything else, pretty much anything else. But you see these people, they don't love their life, they don't have any purpose, and they really age. I mean, there have been people that, even new patients, so they come in, I've met them for the first time. I go through the whole intake, we treat them, we send them on their way, and as they're walking out the door, I'll look at their chart, and then I'll say to my secretary up front, I'll say, how old do you think that person is? They're my age, and she'll guess something like 10 years or 15 years older. But it really, the way we live, it really affects our aging, and we can have a big impact on that. So one of my whys is, personally, I know I want to live a long, healthful life, and I want to age well, just so we can be around for our families. I mean, it's like anyone else. You want to see your kids grow up. You want to have energy. You want to feel good. You don't want to spend your life in poor health. And I see that with a lot of my patients. They come in for back pain, they come in for neck pain, my chiropractic patients, but they also have like diabetes. They also have arthritis really bad. They have heart disease. I have a few examples I know of that. I know these people worked all their life, they retire, and then they have like a stroke like a year later. And I just don't want that for anyone. So personally, for my family, maybe it's selfish, that's one of my whys. For my parents, and I know that I know how hard they worked all their life, and my dad worked hard physical labor for most of his career, and I want to see him take advantage of his retirement. And it's awesome because I don't know if he's watching now, but he was really overweight when he retired, probably up around 280, 290. I know the last few years of work, he was working like 5 10-hour days or 6 10-hour days, whatever it was. Get up, go to work, drive home, eat, and go to bed. And you could see that wore on his health. But the nice thing is that he's a perfect example of turning things around. And he got in really good shape. We joined the gym. We started working out together. He started eating really well. He went on our metabolic reset diet, lost like 30 pounds. So now he's probably around 242, better shape than he was probably 10 or even 15 years ago, or even more than that. So it's one of my whys is to help me and my family, and then help other people do the same thing. Another thing that struck me as far as my why is that, I guess it was about 12 years ago now, I joined Help Out organization on their board. It's called Schuylkill County's Vision. And one of the things we talked about there, we worked with a research group, and they were somehow involved with something called the county health statistics. And if you've never looked these up, go ahead and do that after we're done here. But the county health statistics website has health stats on every county in every state in the United States. And when I was on the board, it was the first year they came out. And one of the things we saw was that Schuylkill County was like 3rd to last and 5th to last in both of their rating systems. So one was health factors, the other one was health outcomes, and it wasn't good. And a lot of the other ones near the bottom of the pile were in urban areas like Philly and Pittsburgh. And so maybe they have an excuse because they don't have access to farmers markets. They don't have access to great hiking trails like we do. They don't have access to good foods all the time, especially depending on what area people live in those urban areas. But what's our excuse? So some of it could be poverty. I'm not discounting that, but I think we can do a lot better. So one of my whys was, okay, I've been to other areas between grad school and doing my internship, and I have colleagues in other areas, and they have wellness doctors, functional medicine docs, and it seems like they just have more of that around and available to people. And we really didn't have this back then. 12, 14 years ago, there might have been one doc doing something kind of like functional medicine. And believe me, I remember thinking to myself, I wish there was a functional medicine doc around or someone that did this so I could refer patients to them. Because at the time, I wasn't so interested in that. I was still just starting chiropractic, and I was getting more involved in the physical injuries and sports injuries and stuff like that. And it was just, functional medicine was just so over my head that I just couldn't imagine myself doing it. So, but it got to the point where, okay, no one else is doing it. I continually talk to patients, my chiropractic patients, day after day. They have IBS, they have chronic fatigue, they have all this stuff. And I ask, well, what's your doctor doing for it? And it's like, nothing. He just said, just keep doing what I'm doing. Or maybe they're on a medication. Well, how's the medication working? Is it helping you? I don't really notice a difference. And I knew based on my training that I could do something for these people. So then they basically just jumped right in and decided to do it and take the reins and get the training done. It's taking the better part of 10 years to really become comfortable with it. And I think I know what I'm doing now for the most part. And I never will completely. And you talk to like any of my mentors that are functional medicine doctors, we know the more you know, the more you realize you don't know what the hell's going on with the human body. So it's just a matter of trying to do your best and seeing how people respond.